Oh, so this is Grayson, the morning of day 114. Spent the night at Tom Lavardi's house up here on the porch. I showed you that last night. Um, Today's goal is 13 miles to Cheshire, I think, Cheshire, Mass, to Father Tom's campsite. And we're just going to get going here. It's nice and cool here this morning. I want to start getting up this climb so I don't run out of gas. Us old farts are a little more susceptible to hot weather. So take you along with me. Met a couple of nice other thru hikers. Guys mind being on camera? Okay, I'm going to flip it around. So the one you see standing there and is taller is Sriracha, and I forget your
Base camp.
Big scam?
Base camp.
Base camp. Ooh.
Yes, sir.
My wife tells me I'm not hearing as well lately. I've been putting earplugs in my ears, and I think it's been pushing my earwax in. Anyway, it's too much information. And over here, this is Tom. Say hi, Tom. This is Tom. Tom has been hosting hikers here in his backyard on his front porch. You say 46 years?
46 years.
46 years. So you are a trail hero. You showed your kindness to a lot of people, so I really appreciate it. So it's a little hard. It's a little hard leaving here to go out and do some hard work, but it's been a good night. I didn't get any mosquito bites in my bug net, and I'm ready to roll. So I'll see you on down there. Oh yeah. Yeah. And Tom even put a candle in a donut this morning for my birthday. So it's awesome. So today this old fart is 66 and still plugging. I wanted to show you this, especially this plant right here across the street. This plant is inauspicious as it looks. This plant is where they make all the paper that the U.S. Mint uses for all the dollar bills. And they've been doing it here for a couple of hundred years. That's what, according to Tom Lavardi. And so it's an old looking plant. It had some hydropower. There's more plant back here behind it. But it's sitting here right on the Housatonic River. And it's crazy. In Dalton, little town of Dalton, Massachusetts, is where all the paper for the paper money in the United States is made. So I thought I'd give you a heads up for that. The trail actually goes through Dalton. I'm on the trail walking past. Yesterday afternoon just wasn't in the right timing and I was tired. The Methodist church here was having a chicken barbecue. Tom told me that he tells hikers to come down here, if they say that chicken barbecue is 4 to 6, to come down here right about 6, because oftentimes they have chicken left over, and they'll give you a second half price or something like that. So there are 5 churches in Little Dalton, Massachusetts, and come to find out that Tom Lavardi attends a church, and so I really believe that what he does by letting campers camp in his backyard is part of a ministry thing he does. Tom is 81 years old, has been retired, lives a very simple life, and but he is just very friendly and welcoming of hikers, which is really awesome. So when I came through town here the other day, I kind of think I went the wrong way. I need to look at what the blazes say.
Good morning.
Good morning. And make sure I go the right way. So I'll see you on down the trail. I have reached pretty much the top of my climb, is about 1,000 feet, and then there's another little climb, maybe 100 or so, and up the ways a little bit is something, I don't know what they call it, but there's an overlook that's supposed to be really gorgeous. Overlooks like the Cheshire Reservoir. So it's 11:20. I'm just gonna hike to that overlook, do lunch, and take a break. So once again, I've misread the map, and instead of being 13 miles today, it's 9. So I've considered going on another 5, but that would be another 2,000 feet elevation gain at about 2/3 of the climb of Mount Greylock. And I don't know. We'll see once I get to Father Tom campsite. I may just go there and rest for an hour or two and then decide whether I want to soldier on 5 more miles to make tomorrow easier, or either make today a hard day or tomorrow a hard day. So haven't decided. The setting is really gorgeous. This is the only water source I've come across, and it's probably the only good water source in this 9-mile stretch. So my first 2 liters that I packed out from town weren't quite consumed, but it's just really, there's a little stream coming down here. We're kind of up high on the mountain, which is kind of unusual to have a stream, but the stream is flowing, and with my little cut-off water bottle, I'm able to scoop it, and it's really pretty, and the trail's been undulating and not really rocky and tough, which is great. And so I'm just a hair over halfway through. I'm feeling a little bit like a slacker today, but it's my birthday. So I'm looking forward to getting to the Father Tom campsite. If I get there at the right time, I may have lunch at the deli and supper at the deli, and then breakfast at the gas station in the morning, and that keeps me from carrying too much food. And it also gives me a ton more calories, and my body seems to like real food better than ramen and mashed potatoes and nor rice sides and chicken packs and protein bars and kind bars and paydays and whatever else. I did find out the other day, and so I'm going to do this tomorrow, is I'm going to get myself a large Coke drink in the morning and drink it, because when you do these climbs, your body just wants immediate carbohydrates, and all the sugar in a Coke. The other day when I did it, I had a 1,200 foot climb, and the climb went really, really well. I bonked a little later in the afternoon, but the climb went really, really well. So it was the caffeine and the sugar. So just keep taking you along for the ride on all this. It's been a good day, and we're going to keep on plugging away. So I wanted to put in front of you again the fundraiser I'm trying to do with this hike as well. I haven't mentioned it, but a couple of times on the channel. I put a link to a GoFundMe page in the description of pretty much every video. But the fundraiser I'm trying to do is for Light Academy Christian School in Liberia, which I've been associated with. I've been there twice on short-term missions trips, and they are doing a wonderful work of educating kids and introducing them to faith. So many of the kids there are given a hope and a future that they wouldn't have because of the circumstances in Liberia. It's an awesome work. We had a board meeting when I was off trail, and just to update you on the challenges of Liberia, Tilly Garley has been working there for quite some time. I was there 6 years ago, and then again last November, and the change in the work and the scope of it has just broadened immensely. So at the start of this, my goal was to raise $25,000 to put the final floor on a building for a nursing program they're starting to start. At the one point, about a year ago, the Board of Education had given him requirements, and he completely complied with the requirements. Then they had an election, and there became a new director, a new minister over top, and they came in and said, nope, you have a completely dedicated building for the nursing program that isn't used by any other thing. It needs to contain so many classrooms, etc., etc. So they began building, and they built 3 floors of the building, and they have 1 remaining. And once they get that floor built, they can start a nursing program. And the goal this nursing program is to make the ministry pretty much self-sustaining, because nursing is a very, very high sought after degree in Liberia, because it translates well to the U.S. Many Liberians want to come to the U.S. for a better life, and so the tuition for that program would help carry the rest of the program, and also fund more scholarships for people that are on waiting lists to get into Light Academy. Anyway, recently the Minister of Education has come under fire for some of the schools in Liberia being substandard, and I think his head is kind of on the line. He is not necessarily a man of total integrity, from my understanding, but his response was to go to 112 schools and close them down. Just shut them down and tell them that they had to do this and so, and until they did it, they were shut down. They came to Light Academy, Faith University, and MKS Technical School, and they gave a one-year ultimatum and said, you need to totally separate the K through 12 from the university. They can't share classrooms, can't mingle across campus, whatever, and they gave them a year to do it, which is really too short of a time frame. They have drawn up plans to take the existing elementary building that was really designed to be one level and to build over top of it a second level of classrooms. And so expecting that expense will be like $125,000, and whether that can be done in a year or not, we don't know. We've been trying to relate with the Board of Education and show good faith that we're making an effort. It's going to be very hard for them to close down Light Academy because it is one of the best schools in Liberia, and so there would be a real outcry. There are a number of fairly well-to-do Liberians that send their kids there, and then also helps pay for the children that are there scholarship. So just wanted to give you an update. You know, it's discouraging sometimes, the politics of third world countries, and but Tally, Garley, and Agnes have still made it work, and so if you think about them, pray for them. If you would like to contribute to their work, there's a couple video links, an interview I did with Tilly, and Agnes when I was there in November. It tells their story, which is an amazing story. If we think we've had hardship and trouble in our lives, just listen to this man's story, and it's quite amazing. And there's also a testimonial from a young lady there that has been scholarshiped in to the program and what it's meant to her. I have more such stories. I just haven't had time to put them all up. So I'd love if you would take a look at some of those things. One of the members of the board, her husband has been a videographer for organizations like Samaritan's Purse, and they went there in November, and they are putting together some videos. I don't know what the status of that is, but currently I don't think any of that stuff is up. But it's such an amazing work. I've told people, and I've said it here on the channel before, that I have never been associated with anything that is changing so many lives in such profound ways. I've been totally touched by the heart of the people in Liberia, and by the work that Tilly and Agnes are doing. I mean, they have given their whole life for this, and they had choices where they could have just done the easy thing. Tilly at one point ended up being employed by the U.S. Embassy in the finance department. He has an MBA, and was making probably one of the top salaries that a Liberian can make, and was living large. And what he and Agnes purposed to do with that was, there was a man in his life, Luke Jones, that gave him a leg up, and he said, I want to be like Luke Jones. And he started taking that money and he started paying for the schooling of underprivileged kids. And as the number of kids that he supported began to grow, he and Agnes decided that it would be cheaper for them to start their own school and school these kids. And so they did. And when I was there 6 years ago, they had 2 locations, one in Monrovia with about 60 kids, and one at the current location. And that was just, that was in the heart of the Ebola outbreak, and they were schooling any person that were orphaned, either one or both parents, no charge. And at that point, I wish I could put pictures up from the trail, but I can't. At that point, the school was in a tin-roofed hut with thatch walls, 6 grades, 120 kids, and probably a 20 by 60. I was amazed at how well behaved the kids were. But since then, it's grown to the facilities are much. They're actual classrooms, and it's thanks to many generous donors in the U.S. They've helped propel that work. There are many people that have really sewed into that ministry, and people that, so it's a pretty amazing deal. So I would encourage you to check those things out in my channel. If you enjoy watching my channel and it's meant something to you, please go out there and if you feel like it, drop a couple of bucks on the GoFundMe. It'd be wonderful if you wanted to spring for a big contribution, but just a bunch of little contributions would be amazing. And you know, I do these videos partly for me, but I do them partly for that reason too, that I would just like to see this thrive. It would be the coolest legacy in the world of this hike if it funded the nursing, the final stage of that nursing program, or if the board decided to earmark funds differently and put it toward the separation of the elementary school from Faith University, which I would totally support. That would just be so gratifying to know that in some way all my hard work in hiking has contributed to something of greater importance than that. So I would just call your attention to that. Just click on the description below any of my videos. Scroll down to the bottom. There's a couple of video links. Click on those. Watch them. The one is an hour long. The one's about 15 minutes long. I think it will really bless you to see the heart of the people that are leading this school and what they intend to do. And so take a gander at that and take another look. Ladies and gentlemen, here is a view. This is Gore Pond. Trail goes right by it. I'm probably 100 feet off the trail. It's a high mountain pond. This end is kind of choked with weeds and stuff. The other end is clear. Beautiful, beautiful day up here. And but I'm going to go on past here a little bit to a place called the Cobbles. That's where I'm going to have lunch. And the trail today has been really, really pretty. Little work climbing up here, but I've just been plodding along. I have a little shorter day today, just how the itinerary works, and so I'm just moseying up the trail, and it's been kind of nice. It's been kind of nice. And the only thing that I have to worry about here is that sometimes when you have sections of trail like this, you got to be really careful because people built all these other little side trails that to go down to the Gore Pond, and so got to pay particular attention to where you're going, or you can easily wander off. Usually not too far because they dead end, but this looks right. I got a couple of planks coming up. Getting used to these plank walks. It's not my favorite thing in the world. This one looks like it has two, and one of them kind of dipped in the middle. I am going to put the camera away so I can, maybe not. I think I can do this. One thing I realized is that as I've aged, I haven't had to use my balance muscles as much, and started relying on my trekking poles to help me balance, and it's actually kind of a good exercise for me to hike without poles across some of these logs and things, because it kind of strengthens my balance muscles. So, anyway, then we go up this little grind and go on down the trail, but it's a very pretty section of trail. Thanks for coming with me. This is a view from, now I forget what these are called. It's a view where I stopped for lunch. It is just amazing, and when we pan over here, the highest peak you can see out there, which is kind of there, is Mount Greylock, which will be going up and over tomorrow. So this is probably the best view so far in Massachusetts, and it has a name, the Cobbles. That's right, this is a view from the Cobbles. So I'm taking here a long break, eating some lunch, drinking some water. I'm gonna go up here and take a little nap in the bushes, and kind of a popular place, but gonna take a little break here before I continue on. I got probably, I don't know, 2-3 miles to town. While I was taking a break up there on the Cobbles, took maybe a little nap, the weather is changing. We have a changing weather pattern. It's supposed to cool off, and so there's a front blowing in, and so went from being sunny and a hot sun to now being overcast with a little breeze and a chance of rain. So I looked at my maps. I've got a little over a mile, maybe a mile and a half to go to where I'm going to camp tonight. I'm going to get to camp pretty early this evening. I don't know if I said in the beginning of the day it's going to be a 13-mile day. Well, I did my math wrong. It's going to be a 9-mile day. So got a mile to get to camp. But kind of the downhill is fairly aggressive, although it's not bad here. Fairly aggressive. I'd like to get down in case it would blow up a thunderstorm. I'd rather not be up here on top of the rocks, and I'm probably far enough down where I'm out of serious danger even now, but I'd like to get there. If it's going to rain, I'd like to get there set up and be able to wait it out under a tarp. This campsite actually says they accommodate hammocks, which is great. They have like 3 hammocking spots. Joe, I think it's Joe Labardi, said that, maybe it's not Joe, but anyway, I forget. That's what happens when you get tired, you forget. That they built it for a lot for people who like to bike in the area, but he said it's a real nice campsite, and it's real handy for hikers as well, so we'll take advantage of it. Right by the trail there is a deli he says is really good, so that's what I'm having for supper. Gonna have a big deli sandwich and see what else she has. I'm gonna treat myself a little bit, and yeah, kind of way the day's been going pretty good. I didn't realize that when I stopped up there I was starting to get kind of tired, but I'd hiked, probably 8 of the 9 miles for the day, so I'd had most of my day in when I stopped at 1:30ish. So just gonna put the rest of the miles in, and the other option would be to take off for another 5 up the mountain. I don't quite think I have that in the tank, but then I'll have to do it tomorrow. It's like 5 miles up and over the top of Greylock, and then 2 miles down the other side to a shelter. But I've already put in 1,000 feet of elevation gain. If you add another 20, couple hundred to it, it would be a long day. And I've got a package in Williamstown I need to pick up Tuesday. There's no point in getting there any early, so I'm just gonna, there is no good solution to this problem. If I hiked up tonight and really blew myself out tonight, the last little bit of Greylock isn't that hard. The downside is hard. But then once you get to the shelter, it's only a couple miles to town. So it would be a long day today and a really short day tomorrow. And otherwise, I'll do a kind of a medium day today, and I'll do a medium day tomorrow. And hopefully I can get tomorrow they say the temperature is supposed to relegate. The highs are going to be in the 70s. Today the highs were up close to 80. Right now, what do we say? It says 80 on my thermometer. So, so 8-degree swing, that's good. So hiking a climb, 8 degrees less. I started the climb this morning. It was 74 degrees. By the time I got to the top, it was closer to 78 or 80. It was really humid though. Even at 74 degrees, I was sweating profusely. So maybe this front moving through will take some of the humidity. It's just been really, really humid. And so you can sweat by taking a couple of steps, even in 70s. So that's my random musings for the day. It's been a good day so far. Haven't pushed myself too hard. My feet have been doing pretty well. They're gonna get better. They need to. Oh Lord sent me on this quest, and He says He'll provide all that we need according to His riches and glory. So I'm standing on that. Whether it's a piece of advice that somebody gives me that needs to turn this thing around, something will happen, and my feet will continue to do better and better. That is the point that slows me down the most, although I must say that climbing in the heat also takes it out of your body too. And I'm still getting used to being back on trail. It just takes a while. So I'll keep taking you with me, keep talking to you, showing you some pictures. Met a lot of northbounders today. A lot of them I'm in a familiar position that I get to see a lot of people because they pass me. But it is what it is. I'm the tortoise, not the hare. We were talking to a guy last night, and he hung around at Joe Lavardi's for quite a while, talking maybe 2 hours, maybe 3, and then he took off, an hour before dark to hike 3 miles to a shelter, and different strokes for different folks. That wouldn't work for me. So anyway, keep taking you with me. So wrap up of day 114. I hiked 9 miles. It's my birthday. I'm staying at the Father Tom campsite in Cheshire, Massachusetts. That leaves me about a 7, 8, 9 mile day up over Mount Greylock. I think the climb is fairly gradual, but it's a lot of up for a lot of miles. So today's going to be a little bit of a hard day, but to treat myself tonight for my birthday, when I came into town, I went to Diane's Twist and I ordered myself a strawberry banana milkshake large. I put that down. Somebody came by and gave me a Gatorade. Had that. I'm getting ready to go over to the Diane's Twist and get myself a deli sandwich and a grilled cheese for supper, which should top off the tank really well. Tomorrow morning's plan is to go up here to a convenience store and get a breakfast sandwich on the way out of town, which means I don't have to cook and I didn't have to carry as much weight. So it's been a good day. I kind of really took it easy. I got here quite early, 3 something in the afternoon, but the next option was 5 miles of climbing up Greylock to a shelter, and a lot of people were going there tonight. So it's going to be really full up there, and so thought maybe it'd be better if I just rested and did a long gradual day tomorrow. If I'd really get in trouble, I can go 5 miles, stop at the shelter and make another day out of it, and then go over the next day. I don't think that's going to happen. I think I'm fine to make this climb. I'm just going to have to take it slow and easy all the way up and over. And my pack is pretty light. I resupplied for a 2-day, well, 2.5 days, mostly snacks. I've eaten today's snacks. I just need to make sure I keep eating my stuff. And then I'm going to go into Williamstown, pick up a package and do another resupply. That has to be determined. I think it'll be 5 or 6 days. Trying to get into not the first town is Bennington in Vermont, but that is 10 miles off trail, and Tom Lavardi said it's not a very good resupply point anymore. The next town is 3 or 4 days, 5 days away, maybe 4 days away, the way the speed I go, and they have much better options and people that are there's some shuttling people and some stuff like that. So I don't know. I may pack 5 days of food and try to stretch it to 6, but that means all my climbs I'm going to be dragging a lot of food up. So just the quandaries you get into on the trail. It's either Bennington with a hard resupply and then resupply for 4 days, or well, 3 days maybe, or it's that would be 3 days and 3 days maybe instead of 6 days altogether. So we'll just see what happens. Let me turn around and show you this campsite. So what they've done here is we've got plastic outdoor chairs. They've got a water spigot over here. In that little shack you see over there, by the way, by the porta-johns, they have charging stations. Picnic table over here, and I'm joined by a couple other hikers tonight. And then they actually have poles for hammocks, so I'm set up over there for the night. It's 80 degrees right now. It's pretty hot here, but we're going to spend the night and get up early, get myself some breakfast, and get on the trail. I understand the views from Mount Greylock are awesome, and there's a big monument up on top of Mount Greylock, so look forward to seeing that. It gets a little rough on the other side of Greylock for a little while going down to the first shelter, and then it's pretty steep down climb from the shelter into Williamsville, and I've got to get that figured out and what I'm going to do there and how I'm going to get resupplied. Probably going to stay in a motel in Williamstown. I keep calling it Williamsville, in Williamstown for the night. I don't think I'm going to zero. I think I'm just going to get my food, sleep overnight, repack, pop out of town, and keep on going. So the tortoise beats the hare, and that way if you just keep putting in the miles. So thanks for all your prayers. My feet are doing better. They have a ways to go, but they are doing better, and I believe they're going to get a lot better. So if you just believe with me on that, I would appreciate it. So I think I told you I'm going over here to get a deli sandwich for supper, which is a treat. And I'm going to come back over here and eat it. And I'm going to hang out, and I really should, an ant on my arm, really should back flush my water filter while I'm here and have access to good clean water. So I may do that tonight. And the toes of my shoes, the wraparound part, they're starting to peel up, and so I may clean those off and stick a little super glue on them to get them stuck back down. It seems to work. Other than that, I don't have a crazy amount of stuff to do. I'll put together this video, and this video is going to be a lot more video and not too many photos. I just didn't have that many real picturesque things to take pictures of, and some of them I videoed, so you're just going to have to bear with me. But it's been a nice and interesting day. The cobbles, I think that's what they were called, up at the top of the mountain, where I had a gorgeous view, one of the best in Massachusetts. So that'll be on the video. I'll show you that. So thanks for hanging with me.